have the shorter downpipe here. This will be the one closest to the frame rail. And I've wrapped this in a black header fiberglass wrap. At least what's left of the black, right? So we got a little bit of the black here. This flange here is the one that actually bolts up to your exhaust manifold. It's a 2-bolt flange. To see a lot of heat from here to about here. And I've tried using the high heat temperature spray paint. That stuff never holds up either. So I did order new gaskets for all the flanges. So we're going to be replacing those as well. Here's the heat shield for the O2 sensor. This actually protects the O2 sensor from the adjacent downpipe. I've decided to go with a product called Heat Shield. And it's supposed to reduce up to 70% of the radiant heat off any type of exhaust component. So my shipment finally came in. Oh yeah, I love stickers. So I ordered some of this heat shield. It's the armor kit. And this stuff is rated up to 1800 degrees Fahrenheit, continuous. And it says up to 2200 degrees Fahrenheit, I guess at 30 seconds intervals. So it's supposed to reduce up to 70% of radiant heat off your pipes. So we're gonna give this a try. All right, guys. So this is pretty much what it looks like. It's like an aluminum material. It's pretty neat. It's flexible enough where you could wrap pipes with. It's like a silica type of matting. So we're gonna work with this and see how it turns out. It's supposed to be really good. Okay, first things first is we're gonna pull off this old wrap, and I got these gloves on, so hopefully the fiberglass won't pierce this. This stuff is pretty bad. It gets really itchy, you know. Alright guys, so I've decided to run the heat shield. It'll be from here to here, and this is where I see the most heat anyway, so I am going to pull this off just to go ahead and clean things out. about here. We're gonna make some relief cuts. Alright guys, so we have our downpipes pretty much complete, reassembled. We got the heat shield on, we got the stock heat shield along the lower portion here, got new hardware down here. So what we're going to do is we're going to paint the lower portion from here to here with some VHT flame proof high temperature spray paint. Guys, next step is we're going to pull off these studs here off the exhaust manifolds. We got two here and then one in the back. One's already out, so yeah, let's do that. Got it. New studs we'll be putting in. Alright guys, so we're going to apply some Never Seas on these studs just to ease the installation. So I don't have the correct torque bit socket for this driver here. 9/32 socket seems to work. All four studs installed, and so we're good to go here. this shield used to be the bottom shield. I ended up moving this on top. And these little louvers here, that's what allowed for water to drain. These were all clogged up with dirt and sand. So I was able to get a screwdriver in here and knock all that crap out of there. So now they're going to act like little air scoops there. So it's going to be able to capture some air to allow for air circulation inside the covers there. Down here you can see I cut a little hole there with my hole saw to allow for water drainage. On this side, as you can see there, I ended up notching out a good section there. So should allow for plenty of clearance now. And I ended up going with these nut inserts right there. So I think we're good to go. All that's left is to clean up the covers. We're going to paint these black and take it from there, guys. For these 93 through 94 Toyota Land Cruiser 80 series, Toyota made the exhaust system a little complex. They use different diameter gaskets. For instance, this smaller diameter gasket right here, these are one-time use, crushable gaskets. Part number for all these, I'll put them in the description down below. So the smaller diameter gasket is the one that goes between your exhaust manifold and your downpipe. Between your downpipe and your catalytic converters, they use this diameter gasket. It's a little larger. This one here was very difficult to find online. And the reason for that was Toyota ended up discontinuing this gasket, or the old part number. And then the one after the catalytic converters, so this one goes between the catalytic converters and the crossover pipe, as well as between the crossover pipe and the muffler. But as you can see, it's another size diameter, and this one's a lot wider in width there. So yeah, it's very complex. I had to do a lot of homework to find all these different size gaskets. So it was not fun. So we're gonna go with our intermediate gasket here. This will be the one that goes between your catalytic converter and your crossover pipe. So this is your crossover pipe right here, and that sits right about there. We will grab our cat. This is the larger gasket, and that goes here in this pocket right here. So there's our exhaust gasket. We have our new hardware. Just like that. Then we have our shield, brand new shield. Alright guys, here we have it. We are pretty much assembled. So this is pretty much ready to go back into the truck. So we have new nuts for the exhaust manifold studs. I'm gonna go ahead and pre-install the gasket on the downpipe. We're gonna slide that sucker on there. He's still kind of loose here. It's gonna help us kind of get this thing going here. We have our fasteners ready. We got our one-time use gasket ready to go. We're gonna make sure we are centered in the pocket there. Next step is to install this bracket. And this bolts to the side of the transmission like that. And then there's a clamp that clamps that curved end there to the downpipe. So it's kind of sits like that. Alright guys, so we have our bracket installed on the transmission. And the downpipe is clamped onto the bracket, so everything's nice and secured. The next step is to tighten up these 10mm nuts on here. There's 2 at the bottom and 2 on the top for this isolator. And that's pretty much the way it's going to sit in the truck. Bolt this bracket back onto the frame, and this is pretty much what supports the muffler in place, and I removed it to clean off any surface rust. Give it a nice fresh coat of paint. The next step is to get the muffler ready. So that pretty much does it for the exhaust system. Man, it feels good. It's back in the truck. We're actually idling right now 900 RPM, and it's rather quiet in the truck. Let's rev it up to 2000 RPM. That's right at 2000 RPM, guys, and most of that noise is coming from the engine bay. So it's gonna be a very quiet ride, especially on those long road trips. Yeah, I ended up replacing all the gaskets, all the hardware, the little side shield that was all bent up, that was replaced as well. We got new rubber isolator bushings that were in desperate need of replacement. Installed a new muffler, which makes a huge difference. What else? We notched out the heat shields to accommodate for the rock slider. So that's about it, guys, and feels good. We're pretty much done, so next step is getting Dusty out of the garage and cleaning him up. So I want to thank you guys for joining me, and we'll catch you on the next one.